You ever notice how the more money someone's got, the less room they have for surprises? That was Victor Langston in a nutshell, man. Didn't even flinch when the market crashed, when his partners bailed, or when some kid scratched up his Mercedes. But on the day he walked up to that sad little townhouse with an eviction notice in his pocket, it all blew up in his face for reasons he never saw coming. And honestly, if you'd asked him that morning, he would have told you luck was for amateurs. She lived by contracts and deadlines. Everything neat and predictable, except, yeah, life isn't that polite. So, picture this Victor, 57, pressed suit, cold as ice, stepping out of that car, locking it with a beep that probably echoed down the whole cracked driveway. He'd built his fortune one deal at a time, no charity, no handouts. Unit 3B was just another problem to be solved 3 months behind on rent. Time to clear the books, keep it moving. The plan? Knock, serve, walk away. Only, the universe had a different script. Door swings open, and there they are, 2 little girls, maybe 6 or 7, standing side by side in matching blue dresses that looked like they'd been through one too many spin cycles. Eyes huge, scared. Meeting is like he's the villain in some fairy tale. Victor, who's evicted more people than he cares to remember, forgets what he came to say. Is your mother home? And he actually says it soft, like he's talking to kittens or something. The older one tries to stand tall, says she was supposed to be back last week. The younger, barely holding it together, just pleads, please don't take our home. Mommy said Mr. Langston would help us if anything happened. Let me back up a sec, because in that moment, Victor's whole world starts tilting. What did you just say? He asks. The older girl, hands shaking, pulls a crumpled envelope from her pocket. Victor sees his full name, written in this looping, familiar script that snaps something open in his chest. Inside, a note. Victor, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I'm sorry to ask, but they have no one else. Their names are Lily and Leia. Please take care of them. Signed, Elena Martinez. Yeah, that happened. You know how people say the past catches up with you? Victor never believed that until right then. Elena was this chapter he'd sealed away in, maybe 12 years ago, back when he was hungry, making his first real moves. She'd been his tenant, then something more for a little while, warm, stubborn, always challenging him. But he left, chasing bigger deals, telling himself he'd made the right call. Now, her ghost's handwriting was in his hands, and 2 kids were staring at him like he might save them or ruin everything. He steps inside, heart pounding. Apartment's nearly empty. No TV, no lights, 2 little beds with faded blankets, boxes of dry cereal, and a sticky note on the fridge about heating leftovers. The smell in there? Kind of like lavender and something else, something desperate. Victor looks at the eviction notice, folds it up once, then again, then just rips it into shreds and shoves it deep in his coat. Next thing he knows, he's walking down the block to get them some food, orders way too much, comes back, sits at the kitchen table feeling about 10 feet too big for that space while the girls eat like they haven't seen a hot meal in days. He watches them, how they lean toward each other, whisper before answering, keep glancing at the door. That night, when they finally sleep, Victor calls every hospital he can think of, then hires a private investigator. Find her, but keep it quiet. Then he goes home, cracks open this old box he'd buried in storage, photos of him and Elena, smiling outside a hole-in-the-wall coffee shop, her hair messy, his tie crooked, everything looking like a different universe. He wonders if she ever meant to tell him she was pregnant. Wonders if those girls are his. Then shuts it down. Does it even matter? He's back first thing in the morning. Girls are still there, sitting on the same couch, waiting. Are you taking us away now? One asks. Victor just kneels, pulls out his phone, tells his housekeeper, clear out the guest wing, he got family coming. And that's how a man who never wanted kids, never even bought a stuffed animal, ends up making cereal for 2 half-asleep little girls wrapped in blankets in his penthouse kitchen at sunrise. For 3 days, that's his life, tiptoeing around toys, learning not to step on Legos, answering questions with shrugs. They trust him in that quiet, heartbreaking way some kids do, because they don't know any better, or maybe because they just want to believe someone will finally keep a promise. He can't bring himself to tell them he doesn't have any answers. At night, he lies awake, dreading what's coming. The investigator finally calls. Victor, I found Elena. She's alive, but she's in a coma car accident. No ID. Listed as Jane Doe at a county hospital. Been there almost 3 weeks. He's in his car in minutes, driving across the city, feeling every mile like it's a debt he never knew he owed. He sees her bruised, still, hooked up to machines, and something breaks. He sits down beside her, apologizes, whispers things he wishes he'd said years ago. 2 days later, DNA results show up in a plain envelope. Victor stands there, holding it like it's going to burn him. He opens as not their father. Not by blood, not even a distant relative. He has to sit down because the shame got, the shame eyes worse than he expected. For hoping, for assuming. But then he remembers Lily's small hand gripping his, Leia's voice begging him not to take their home. He realizes it doesn't change a damn thing. They aren't his, but they're his now. That night, he sits them down in his study, just him and the girls. He tells them the truth. I'm not your real dad, and I don't know if your mom will wake up, but I want you to know I'm not going anywhere. You don't ever have to be scared again. Leia cries. Lily hugs him. And for the first time in decades, Victor doesn't feel empty. Weeks pass. Elena wakes up slowly, memories scrambled, but she knows the girls, knows Victor. One morning, she breaks down, tells him the truth. They're my nieces. My sister died giving birth. I had nowhere to go, so I remembered you always said if I needed help, you'd be there. And Victor can't even speak. Yeah, he made that promise way back over some cheap coffee, never thinking it would matter. 6 months later, the adoption papers go through. Victor Langston, legal guardian. The penthouse is chaos piano lessons, art projects, bedtime stories, laughter echoing off marble floors. Victor finds himself in sweatpants, making pancakes, braiding hair, sometimes late for meetings, sometimes not showing up at all because, honestly, he doesn't care what anyone thinks anymore. The man who went to evict 2 orphans built himself a home instead. Now, here's the part people always ask: was that justice, fate, or just plain luck? You tell me. Because some folks out there will say Victor did the right thing, that he redeemed himself, that people can change when life knocks them sideways. Others will say it doesn't erase what came before, that a man like him only stepped up because he was forced to. And you know what? Maybe both are true. So, what do you think? Was Victor a hero, a fool, or just a man doing his best when no one else would? Drop your take in the comments. Argue it out. What's right? What's fair? Who gets to decide what family means? And if this story hit you in the gut, go ahead, like it, share it, and stick around for more. There's a lot more where this came from: real people, real messes, sometimes even a happy ending. Stay curious, stay kind, and don't forget to check your own mailbox. You never know what life's about to deliver.